grade 10s, today we'll look at grouped data in more detail. Gerard is trying to motivate classes in his school to collect cans for recycling. He has met with Mr. Dlamini from the governing body, who suggested that can collection becomes a class competition. Gerard needs to display the numbers of cans brought in by classes on a bar graph, but he is struggling to work with the numbers of cans brought in. Eloise is in studio to help him group the data and make the bar graph. Let's join them to see how they are doing.
So Gerard, did you find out how many cans each class has collected already?
Yes, we went to the teachers and asked them for their data, but we didn't know what to do with it. It's just too much. Here's our list.
Okay, let's start by thinking about what it is you want to show with this data.
Well, we want to show the principal that some classes haven't collected that many tins and they really need to start collecting. And we want to show him that other classes have collected over 100 tins. So if we can put all our information on a graph, maybe that will motivate the other classes.
Good idea. It gives them a picture of how they're all doing and what they need to aim for. So what do you need to show on the graph? Do you want each class listed along the x-axis?
Well, we thought about that, and there's 25 classes. So if we put a bar on for each class, that would be 25 bars, and that would be difficult to read.
Okay, so you want to show how many cans each class has brought without labeling the classes. It sounds like you need a frequency table. You want to know how many classes collected how many cans.
We tried to do that. We wrote down all the numbers of cans, possibly from 0 to 200. Then we started putting tally marks for each class. Here's 8A with 84 cans, and here's 8B with 195 cans. But we realized we don't want to end up with so many separate bars plotted on the graph, and a lot of the numbers will end up with a 0 next to them.
It's good you realized this early on. You could have made a lot of unnecessary work for yourselves. Organizing data is supposed to make things easier to read. To make the numbers easier to use, we could make each row in your frequency table a group of numbers rather than just one number. Depending on the size of your data, you can arrange it in groups of 5, 10, 20, 50, 100, or even 1,000. We call these groups of numbers class intervals, and the table is called a grouped frequency table. Let me show you what I mean. Your data goes from 8 to 195, so your class intervals should probably start at 0 and go to 200.
Right. We've decided for now we're only going to use our graph to show the cans already collected. Then we won't have to go past 200. And we've also decided to make a new graph each week. That way we can monitor our progress. And then maybe we can exceed 200.
What size intervals do you think we should make?
Would groups of 5 work?
That means your table would go up in 5s, so you would need, let's see, 200 divided by 5. You would need 40 class intervals. That's still too many to show on a graph, Gerard.
Oh, I get it. Even if we used groups of 10, we'd still have 20 class intervals, which is still too many. How about groups of 50?
50 in a class interval means you will only have 4 class intervals, and you'll find it very difficult to see which classes are ahead of the others because they will all be in the same 4 intervals.
So how about we use class intervals of 20? That would mean we have 10 groups, and that will be so much easier to work with.
I agree. So we'll make your class intervals go up in 20s. Now you're ready to make a frequency table.
Right. My table has 3 columns. 1 for the number of cans, 1 for my tally, and a 3rd for my frequency.
Hang on a minute, Gerard. How many cans did class 9C bring?
40.
Exactly. So where will you make your tally mark for 40?
I see what you mean. There are 2 places I could put it. It could go in the 20 to 40 group or in the 40 to 60 group. Couldn't we just write in both?
If you did that, it would mean 2 classes brought 40 cans, where in fact only 9C did. You need to rethink your class intervals so that there are no overlaps. And you should check how many numbers there are from 20 to 40.
20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40. That's 21 numbers. So if I wanted 20, I'd have to start 20 to 39. So the class interval should be from 0 to 19, 20 to 39, 40 to 59, and so on, until we get to the last one, which will be 180 to 199.
That's great, because there are no classes that brought 200 cans, so it's fine to stop at 199.
8B collected 195 cans. That's over there. 8D has 62. There we go. Now I just have to add up my tally marks. 6 classes brought between 0 and 19 cans. 5 brought between 20 and 39. And another 5 brought between 40 and 59. 3 brought between 60 and 79. 2 brought between 80 and 99. And 1 brought between 100 and 119. Another one brought between 120 and 139. And so did 1 between 140 and 159. None of them brought between 160 and 179. And 1 brought between 180 and 199. I just want to check if I haven't left any classes out. There are 25 classes in our school, so let's see what the total adds up to. 6 plus 5 plus 1 plus 1 plus 0 plus 1 equals 25. So my tally is right.
Great! Now you're ready to put this all onto a graph. Then you can make a big poster so the principal can explain all of this to the students. I'm going to suggest that you put your class intervals on the vertical axis. Then you'll end up with bars across your page instead of up and down the page. I think this will make the graph a little more interesting for the learners.
Okay, so the y-axis will have the class intervals on it like this.
That's it. Now don't forget to label that axis. It will be the number of cans.
Oh, but what do we put on the other axis?
That will be for the number of school classes, the totals from your frequency table.
Oh, okay. So the highest number in the frequency was 6. So I think I'll label it from 1 to 7.
Good. Now you can mark off a bar for each class interval.
Sure. It will be 6 here, then 5, 5, then 3, 2, 1, 1, and 1. Nothing in this interval, and then 1 in the last interval. And here it is, the final graph.
That's great, Gerard. You can clearly see how many classes haven't collected enough cans. All these classes have brought less than 100.
It's also clear that this class is way ahead of the others. So the principal needs to encourage the other classes to catch up.
Did you notice how grouping the data made it easier for Gerard to display the data on a bar graph? Grouping data and displaying it on a bar graph can give a good indication of trends. Try some of the tasks in the data handling task video. You will also be able to learn more about data handling on our website, www.mindset.co.za/learn. Goodbye.